Yes, YouTube, we're gonna do another back test, baby. So, just real quick, I'm not gonna speak too much on this video, but real quick, this is what we're looking for. Two things: drawing liquidity and AMD. The rule with the drawing liquidity slash bias is if you don't have a target and a protected swing, you can't enter. Okay, simple as that. And then I think the rest of it, I'm gonna put size actually up here, I think, because I think size is quite important. It needs to be relative, and all three phases must be relative in size to each other and the drawing liquidity range. Cool, so let's get it. In my last back test, I was literally just entering on every single one and then just kind of scraping the top of the price. So I've got like 83% win rate, which is decent. So yeah, let's have a look. That's the thing, there's so many trades that I miss because I wait for like pullbacks, and I just think sometimes I just gotta get in on that. Anyway, let's talking. Let's just identify a drawing liquidity right now. So we're all the way up, quite high up. Nothing really to call here. This took liquidity and broke structure. So I'm guessing we're still going higher until we violate that. I'm guessing we're gonna come into this 1 hour gap as well. So for now, I think that this low is probably the target, and then we're gonna see how we react. I can't really say that I've got a protected swing point at any of these areas, to be honest, other than like that. None of these have really tapped into, none of these have like tapped in to come out, so I'm just gonna play this out. Also, the moment isn't the draw liquidity. I'd say this is the bias. If it's on such a high time frame, this isn't the draw liquidity. Drawing liquidity is what's coming next, like what's going to be taken next. At the moment, we've just got a bias, so got to bear that in mind that we don't actually have a drawing liquidity yet. The drawing liquidity needs to be fairly close to the entry time frame. It's like I can't have a 4 hour drawing liquidity in a 1 minute move. Like that doesn't make sense. So to be honest, right now, actually, I'd say that this high should be protected if we're still bearish. And if it does get protected and we turn around and invert this, then I probably would take this, because then I've got a target and a protected swing when I come onto this time frame. So let's see how we react here. Alright, so looks like the opposite is happening at the moment. No? Okay. Alright, 3 minute. Okay, sadly, this is gonna go without us, you know. Oh no, it is. That's the 1 minute confirmed. 3 minutes gonna be confirmed in 2 more minutes. Do I get in on this? Everything looks good, to be honest. We've got our drawing liquidity. The bias and everything's aligned because the bias is lower. Now the drawing liquidity is lower, and the target is and the move is now lower. So let's see. Problem is risk to reward is shit, and also the 5 and the 3 minute hasn't closed. Whoa, okay. So okay, 3 minutes gonna close in 30 seconds. Okay, 3 minute has closed, but it's closed horribly. Question is whether we'd be in on this now. To be honest, if it was a bear risk to reward, I feel like I would already be in, so I might just take this. I don't know whether it's a good decision or not though. I think because of my lack of confidence here, I'm gonna instead use this as a draw on liquidity and then see if I can take a move internally. Do you think it's gonna go there? It would just be nice to maybe see this come up and then come back down. Okay, I'm definitely taking this if we get it. Okay. Ooh, big rejection last second. That could be a draw on liquidity now. This is a tough trade, you know, what the hell. Okay. I'd think we're going up off of this, but there's no gap to reaffirm that. That's a protected swing. Then we just got a new accumulation, we've got equal highs. I can't really take this at the moment though, because there's no gap to take, but it should go. Yeah. Alright, so glad I didn't take that short. It was more from the lack of power through the distribution that made me not want to get in that. Alright, so we just violated that, which we thought was protected, and we violated that. But remembering, on this time frame, look, there's nothing that's actually protected here. So I'm just going to play this out. I'd maybe want to see us come into like this area now, take this and then turn around, and then we can use that as a draw on liquidity. But for now, it's just, I think for now actually the draw is higher. I don't think it's 100% that, but I feel like, oh, it's got to be that, isn't it? The 15 minute gap, and there's a 30-minute gap there. So if it is that, then we should be playing within this range. That should be protected low. And again, like I was saying with the context, no, with the size, relative size, if this is now the target, which is that and that, for us to come down deeper into this range here is a good sign, because it's a full-on retracement. If we haven't fully retraced, if we was just up here and then we retraced a tiny bit just to go further, it'd be more of a dangerous move, because there wasn't enough retracement. Whereas I wouldn't mind taking this now, because it's, look, we've actually retraced. And these candlesticks are just like so hard to read right now. I think that I would take this, to be honest. It's a tough one though. It's a tough one because I feel like the drawn liquidity isn't fully confined. However, we did just tap into a 3 and a 5. And the setup looks good. Okay, I am going to take this. Let's see. I am committed to taking this trade. I'm in on it. If it loses, it loses. Alright. Safety wise, I'm going to suffocate this straight away. Cool. Pretty confident we're going to hit that high though now. We do. I would have probably had my TP there, to be honest. Can you get us out? Oh, still a win. Alright, cool. Good stuff. That was just changing the idea of the bias as well, so should run that high properly now. Could we get another internal thing here? I don't know. Maybe. We need to respect this low. This doesn't look bad, to be honest. It makes sense. We're respecting that low. We've accumulated. We came down. I'm not going to take it, but we're just going to set this up and see if it actually goes or not. It's not something I'll be involved in, but I'm interested to see if it would win or not. I think it should, to be honest. Theoretically, it should anyway. I guess you could put an extra little tick on that. Okay, no, it doesn't. So, that's interesting. The interesting part of that is... Oh, hang on. Oh no, what am I on about? Okay, yeah. Interesting part of that is... I think we can. It's okay to say that there's a minimum time frame for protected lows. Like, I just watched my old video of me back testing and doing the same thing, and I took a loss because of the same thing. It was like I assumed that there was a protected low on a 30-second time frame, and I feel like with certain low time frames like that, you can't really call it a protected low because it's not. I don't think it's significant enough in the market to be considered that. So this is nice. Like, we've come back down. Only thing I don't like about this is that we haven't hit the target yet already on the first go. Question is, would I be in this or not? I think it is worthy. We've got triple equal highs. I think I should take this. I think it has to be. This is the same, pretty much the same trade as the last one. Let's see how this plays out. Should hit this. I don't see why we wouldn't. Yeah, nice. Cool. So again, strong protected low. We reacted nicely from it. Still had a target. And yeah, I guess I could have held that and suffocated the stop loss again. But yeah, still haven't took that. Okay. I was gonna say still haven't fucking hit the full on target yet. But yeah. Cool, continuing this then. I still feel like target is that 15-minute gap. Let's see. There's the newest protected low. So we've got a little range going on there. And bearing in mind, once we hit into that gap, I'm expecting some kind of turnaround, I don't know. Alright, we've got a little accumulation here. Looks like we just manipulated down and potentially turn it around. It's so hard to read these candles. Why are they like this? We are in a 1 minute gap as well. Like, it's not something I would take, but let's be interested to see how it plays out. We've got equal highs there as well. I think this should carry on higher, to be honest. It's kind of respected everything it should. Yeah, this is gonna go. This has to go. At least to that high. This ain't a trade I'm taking, by the way. I'm just testing this to see if it will go or not. This is where my stop loss would be. Fails, okay, interesting. Alright, so again the retracement, I feel like the retracement wasn't big enough. However, now if this turns around, this is 100% has to be, we have to be involved in this. If this gap gets inverted, we have to be involved in this. So let's see. I'll speed this up just a little. Doesn't actually look like it's gonna come back higher. I think we're just gonna come back and violate this. Yeah, we do. Interesting. So we're now destroying old lows. Or did we destroy it or did we equal it? We actually equaled it. Did we, or we just destroyed it now? Equaled it again. Okay, this is a tough one in my opinion. I'd struggle to want to take anything here. So this isn't a trade. However, this looks like an A, this looks like an M, and that looks like a D. So you could use that as the bias, and then it gets violated. Okay. So again, now I think because we didn't fully violate these, to be honest, and we've got a target. I mean, in terms of significant protected swings, we're still alive. Like this has equaled it. So I feel like you could take this and go higher. Do you think it's gonna go? We've also got, we're making market structure inside of it as well with this. I'm gonna skip it, but I'm pretty confident it's gonna go. Pardon me. Right, this has to go. Yeah. Cool. Good. Back testing. Still haven't took that internal high in there, so guessing we might still go higher. The only trade that we could take to get higher. Oh wow, what happened? Where are we? Nah, that is so rude how price can do that. That is actually rude. How could you be there and then wake up and it's down there? That's actually insane. That is a full-on violation. So that was what we was expecting to happen, to be honest. Look, there's the gap. I was saying I'm looking for a turnaround once we come into that gap. And instead, just overnight, it's just gone bang, take all of that. And now we're all the way down here. That's insane. Okay, so next day, that was mad. Took a lot of trades in one day there. And 0 losses, by the way. So that got violated, which means I'm guessing some of these are going to get violated then now. That's the next low to get violated in my opinion. So remember, that's a bias now. So this is the start of building the context. This is the early on building of the context. There's our bias. We don't have a protected area yet, and we don't have a target yet. However, it does look like we've got equal highs there, so that could be a target. If that's the case, so let's start building some context here. If that's the case, I'd want this to be a protected swing, so we can look at what is going to happen inside of this gap. Yeah, I think that's fair. It's a fair bit of context to build. Why, sir? And exactly what happened. Could have been a 15-second entry. Not really. Alright, cool. So new protected swing is here if we're still bullish. New target is here if we're still bullish. I think it's just going to run it, to be honest. Can't imagine we're going to get an opportunity to get in this. Yeah. Alright, so no idea now. We've just got this massive like gap here. So absolutely no clue where we're off to here. So we're going to have to wait for some market structure to form. That's all we can do. The gap actually is there, so there's a slight target there. There's our protected low, and we are actually reacting inside of a valid gap, and we've just inverted coming back up. Interesting. 1 minute we haven't closed on it, so we're gonna wait for that. And it's hit. So it could have been a 30-second move there. Not the strongest, most beautiful thing I've ever seen, but made sense. Look, protected low, target. Man, this is actually a winning formula, I can't lie. There's not really much more to it. So again, in my opinion, if we're going higher, this is a valid protected low. You know, we've come into a 3-minute gap, into a 1-minute gap. So we could look for some internal stuff going inside of here. Could we take that? We've tapped into 30-minute gap, 30-second gap, sorry. We haven't fully inverted that strong yet. Okay, we have now. So could that work? I mean, it's not a beautiful AMD. There's an A there, manipulation, and we distribute there. I feel like in terms of context it makes sense. My swing low would be here, this one. In terms of context it makes sense. But I'm not going to take this. I don't feel super confident in this. However, I do feel a lot more confident in that, and I feel like we're just building more protected swings inside of swings. I am going to take this. Let's see if it's a bad decision or not. This is one of the weaker ones. If this loses, I could understand why it loses, but I think it should win. So it does win. TP was, oh, okay, TP was 0.7. So I'd actually be out of this, I think, because I would have squashed the thing. Alright, we're up, continuing higher. Okay, so like we were saying, even though in these lower time frames we had these protected lows, I don't personally think that we could use it as such context. So for example, now we have just inverted that gap, with this being a protected low that took us higher. It was that, wasn't it? So decent decent thingy. Retrace back into 50%. I think it could go, but I'm not going to take it. Okay, it does go. Sorted. I wonder if I could like just add some kind of Fibonacci thing here. So to 50%, I guess. Okay, nice. We just need to see. It's simple as that, really. Just need to see price retrace to at least 50% for it to be valid from the protected swing to the new target. This is a range, isn't it? This is the range of the range. So come to 50% and bang. Cool. So what, that was, that 2 days of back testing? I feel like that was just wins, straight wins as well. The mad thing is, my P&L, my risk to reward is like, look at that, average risk to reward 0.5, which is just crazy. If you told someone that was your risk to reward, I'm risking £1,000 to make £500. It sounds ludicrous, but no, it works. It actually works for me. It makes sense. Because I feel like, because it's such low hanging fruit and it's so aligned that it's just like I'm just scraping money off the top every time. And realistically, if I take one loss, it'll wipe out 2 wins. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Like for example, this was a loss here. Look, I did 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, then a little loss, and then it's just, we're back up again. This has to really be a strong mental battle, but yeah. Anyway, good back test.